What impact will Black Friday bring to the markets? We also see that the grape season started, resulting in a 37% price drop, while potato prices can get some support this week. All in this week's episode, brought to you by Zimmatic Irrigation Systems, so make sure to stay tuned. The Brent crude oil price remained elevated on $74.48 per barrel due to the escalating conflict between Russia and Ukraine and slightly better demand from China as well. The rand, however, remained relatively stable over the past week and is currently trading on 18 rand 4 cents per US dollar after the interest rates were lowered by 25 basis points last week. I think the fact that the interest rates were only dropped by 25 basis points and not necessarily more helped the rand to stay around the 18 rand mark. The very conservative adjustment was sparked by the stronger dollar, higher oil prices, and local food prices that's still trading on a higher level. So, although it was a conservative move by the central bank, I think it was the correct one. The last thing we can afford now is a significantly weaker rand and inflation to jump up again. Slow and steady does it. Today I'm thrilled to bring you an exclusive offer from Zimmatic. For a limited time, you can access significant discounts on their pivots, built tough for today's needs and adaptable for tomorrow's challenges. Zimmatic pivots are designed for efficiency, water conservation and optimized yield management. Don't miss this chance to invest in a system that's built to grow with you. Just send me a WhatsApp on 073-1402-698 with the keyword pivot to secure your discount today and take the next step towards sustainable, efficient farming. Grow with Zimmatic. Traditionally, over Black Friday, you would expect demand to pick up and prices that will increase as a result. This is unfortunately not the case in the fresh produce markets. Demand shifts more toward tech products and soft drinks usually, and if there's slightly better demand, consumers are looking for specials, so prices don't usually react upward. I therefore don't think it will support prices on the markets over this week. Moving over to the vegetable markets, the average national potato price increased slightly last week and traded on 76 rand 12 per 10 kg and was 14% higher than a year ago. Last week, large potato prices traded higher on 91 rand, mediums on 71 and smalls on 52 rand per 10 kg. Mondials traded higher on 77 and Cifras also higher on 80 rand per 10 kg. Volumes from Limpopo are expected to drop off sharply this week, and although Natal and Vryburg will probably start soon, the overall volumes are still expected to decrease. This, coupled with higher end-of-the-month demand this week, can support a possible upward movement for the next 2 weeks. The average onion price dropped as expected to 46 rand 68 per 10 kg last week. Brown onions stayed on 47, red onions on 73, while the white onion price stayed on 50 rand per 10 kg. Large onions traded on 41, mediums on 52 and smalls lower on 37 rand per 10 kg. We don't really expect massive price movements for onions for the remainder of this year, with prices likely to stay in this price band. Higher demand can, however, support a slight upward movement this week as well. Tomato prices decreased by another 5% over the past week to 10 rand 19 per kilogram, with volumes about 4% lower week on week. Large tomatoes traded at 12 rand 87, mediums on 9 rand 92 and smalls increasing to 10 rand 6 cents. The expectation is for prices to increase a bit this week due to higher expected demand, but lower quality remains an issue in this market. The carrot price decreased by 15% last week to 3 rand 87 per kilogram, with volumes 2% lower over the past week. This price is now about 15% lower than a year ago, while volumes traded 4% higher year on year. Large carrots traded on 4 rand 4 cents, mediums on 3 rand 37 and smalls on 2 rand 45 per kilogram. We're also expecting slightly better demand this week, which can stop the downward price spiral, but the real issue is quality and shelf life at the moment. The heat wave is impacting the quality delivered to the markets, and pushing prices down since buyers only buy the necessary volumes and nothing more. So expect the price to stay on this lower level for this coming week. The average pepper price decreased to R14.91 per kilogram and is now about 18% higher than a year ago, with volumes about 1% lower year on year. The increase in the price was driven by higher red and yellow pepper prices on the markets. In contrast, green pepper prices decreased to R13.17 last week. Yellow peppers increased by 24% to R17.42, while the red pepper price increased by 23% to R16.77 per kilogram. We're still expecting the average price to increase in December and peak just before Christmas this year. The average cabbage price decreased sharply and decreased by 23% to R2.77, which was due to a 9% increase in volumes over the past week. Garlic prices maintained its current levels and traded on R43.93 per kilogram, while the average spinach price decreased to R2.60 per kilogram. Spinach prices are likely to trade slightly higher over the next month, but higher volumes will likely keep these prices below the R4 per kilogram mark. Sweet potato prices decreased by 16% to R6.99 per kilogram. Pumpkin prices decreased to R2.39. Butternuts increased to R4.02. Green beans increased to R14.75, while the latest cucumber price decreased sharply to R9.31 per kilogram. If you'd like to see more detailed reports on these markets, please download our latest reports on amtrends.co.za for free. With that said, let's take a quick look at what happened in the fruit markets over the past week. The average banana price stayed on a higher level as was expected and traded on R14.22 per kilogram, which is about R256 per 18 kilogram box and is now 10% higher than what we saw a year ago. We still expect prices to remain on this relatively higher level until the end of this year due to supply that can remain under pressure. Apple and pear prices remained in its upward trend due to low volumes that we're usually seeing this time of the year, with the apple price increasing to R13.76, while the pear price rose to R15.01 per kilogram. The latest orange price, however, decreased slightly to R13.76, while the avocado price increased by another 1% to R35.97 per kilogram, which is now 58% higher than what we saw a year ago. Fiates decreased to 44, Haas traded on 36, and the latest Pinkerton price on R29 per kilogram. As expected, table grapes dropped by 37% to R54.99 per kilogram, with the local season starting, resulting in volumes to increase by 115% just over the past week. Expect this price to remain in a downward trend for now, as volumes are likely to stay in an upward trend. Pineapples traded higher on R11.44 and lemons increased to R8.40 per kilogram. Meanwhile, the latest blueberry price dropped by 16% to R49 per kilogram. Before we wrap up, I'd like to remind you that there's still space available for sponsorship in our upcoming videos. If you're interested in reaching our audience and showcasing your brand, get in touch now. This video is made possible by Zimmatic Irrigation Systems, which is now offering exclusive discounts on pivots. I'm Dr. Johnny van der Merwe, and thank you for watching.